Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It's Marvin speaking. We're going to get into some of the sleuths, what they've said, basically about Ayub and the interview, and many of the topics they're talking about, just to catch up with the other sleuths, because a lot of them do come up with interesting things. So we're going to move on to Mariana and what she said. Ayub 31 invited Jay 19 back to the Airbnb. Age gap, nothing in common. Let's get straight into it.
Afternoon, TikTokers and YouTubers. I hope you're well and I hope you're having a lovely day. My question is, what does a 31-year-old have in common with a 19-year-old? You answer me that. What connection do they have? What do they have in common? What do they all like doing? There's nothing in common with a 31-year-old and a 19-year-old. I'm sorry, I don't believe this story. Ayub was 31. He was convicted 9 years for being a ringleader in a gang and sold rugs, rack and heroin. He got convicted for that, and you're telling me he's now living a clean lifestyle. I mean, don't get me wrong, people can change. However, this is a pure example of county lines. This is a pure example of rug dealing. That's all I can think.
I totally agree. There's no way, for any other reason, Jay would be hanging around with Ayub. And we know that Lucy's involved, and we know that Brandon's involved, and we know that Brad is as well. And I do believe that Jay went there maybe to pay off a debt which happened back home and to earn some extra money. I really do believe that, and I think everything seems to be coming into place about that, and there's just so much information coming out. And like I said, the message we went back through in Tales, went back through as well. I do think it is a hell of a lot. The number one thing to do with this case is rugs.
Think of as what's in common. Obviously, Jay Slater, his friends, the area they're from is heavily rug related. You put two and two together. It's got to be county lines. Something must have been sold to Jay in order for him wanting to go back to this Airbnb. Not even in the Airbnb. When they met, when they had that friend in common, Brandon, something was obviously sold to get Jay enticed to like these people, etc. It doesn't make sense. Why would a 31-year-old invite a 19-year-old back to an Airbnb? I get it, you wouldn't want to leave your friend intoxicated, but they weren't friends. They had friends in common, which I'm...
And like I said, Marianne's making some great points here. Why didn't just Ayub, who was tired as well, and Rocky was apparently falling asleep or just wanted to go back, why would you go back to somewhere else, unless he'd been there before with them and trusted them on business? Maybe he went there on the Friday evening. Who knows?
I'm finding really weird. It's stripping it back and going to fine detail. I mean, if I was out in Tenerife or anywhere, if I saw a young girl on her own, I'd make sure she found her friends and she got back home to her friends. I wouldn't be inviting a 19-year-old back to my accommodation where I'm staying. Absolutely not. It raises so many eyebrows, honestly. Also,
when we all realised who Ayub was and that Jay went back there, alarm bells started ringing for everyone. We knew there was a big problem, and Jay didn't just walk basically off a cliff into the wilderness, got lost, and then basically he was to blame. We know there was third-party involvement, and the people who were trying to shut us down, people like Rachel, Luggy, Chris, they want us to stop talking about it, but we're not until we get justice for Jay. A lot more happened. If we're told the truth, at least then we can say, look, this is the truth, then do a documentary on it, on the truth, not on lies.
So going back to what I said about leaving someone intoxicated, Ayub himself said Jay was fine. He said, yeah, he might have been off his face in the videos, but that was very early on in the night. When I saw him before we went to the Airbnb, he was absolutely fine. Which makes the scenario even more weirder.
Yeah, and that was Mariana there. Thank you. We now move on to Duncan Smith. Do go and subscribe to him. He's absolutely brilliant at breaking down this case. and analyzes very, very deeply. And I do like the guy a lot, so do go across and subscribe to him if you already haven't. He's just talking about Ayub and basically his history about with rugs and being an ex, basically, rug dealer. Let's get straight into this.
Let's get on to the vague language that Maisie and Ayub used when they just didn't want to speak the plain, horrible truth. Maisie asked him when Ayub got into the whole rugs scene and to describe that. And what exactly did Maisie say? Yes, how old were you when you started that? Excuse me, Maisie? How old were you when you started that? What's that, Maisie? Do you mean criminal activity? Do you mean flooding a country with rugs that would ruin the lives of many, many young people? Is that what you mean by that? Yeah.
Yeah, I felt they weren't getting real on it, to be honest with you. And look, I know Maisie is his podcast and that, but I do think that it could have been a lot tougher if someone else was asking those questions. I think it was made easy for him, to be honest with you, and plus they knew each other.
Yeah, when Maisie says, how old were you when you started that? I think that word that means Maisie just doesn't want to say the horrible truth. Criminal behaviour. Should we leave it at that, Maisie? How old were you, Ayub, when you started criminal behaviour? Ayub answered that. I went to jail for it when I was 16. It. I went to jail for it. Here we go. Ayub doesn't want to say criminal behaviour, ruining people's lives. So he says it. And then Ayub says, I was smashing it in Cardiff. I take that to mean it again.
I really thought that was really off key when he said that, as though it's a really big thing for what he was actually doing it. What he was actually doing, ruining people's lives. And sometimes when people talk like that, you can actually see how they are so far gone from, a normal systematic life, having a 9 to 5 job. I could never see him doing that.
Successful career in the narco business, or being remarkably successful at ruining people's lives in Wales. I was smashing it in Cardiff. So here we have an it, here we have an it, there we have a that. It is reminiscent of Lucy using there, it.
Very, very true. Just covering themselves and not incriminating themselves so people can pick holes in it. And this is why he's being so vague.
And there, when she was trying to avoid saying the Airbnb. This pattern of behavior it's a key, it's a red flag. It's people that just don't want to give you the truth. So they replace the ugly truth with these very vague terms. And there's the pattern. Maisie and Ayub collaborating on avoiding very ugly, nasty words that would put Ayub in a bad place.
And a bad light as well. And that was a little bit from Duncan Smith. Brilliant stuff. And everyone now is breaking down this interview, and good, because those who are new to a case can get, a good balance of the sleuths and YouTubers and tick-tockers that are going through this case with a fine comb. And we still want justice for Jay. Thank you. We move on to how Jay ended up at the Airbnb. This is by TrueFinder00.
And then we was randomly linking up again because we got a mutual friend. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't know that guy, I'd never know these ones. You know what I'm saying? Because there was not.
But this mutual friend, why doesn't he just come out and say the name? If you've got nothing to hide, and you're putting it all out there for the public and the family to understand, I would do that. Unless someone had said to me, oh, please don't mention my name, Marv, then that's fair enough. I understand that. But like I said, it just seems like to me he's keeping names out of it because he wants people to forget about them and that they're not involved in it. It's like he's the guy, the cover-up man. Ayub.
No reason for me to be linked with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there actually ain't, like you said at the start. But when you do hear a story out, you actually think, okay, that makes sense. That's how they know each other. Now my power and Lucy's now it's like the end now. They've left all NRG. The strip's coming to a close. Everyone's going to the place where everyone goes like that.
Yeah, but what place? You know, you're not Pacific enough. Is it Tramps? Apparently, a lot of people goes to Tramps because it goes on to about maybe 4 or 5 in the morning, or maybe even later than that, depending on how many people are in there. But I would imagine, why haven't we got a timeline? This is very, very important. If we had that, people wouldn't be asking so many questions. Yet you don't have to give it, but it makes things a lot easier.
Last place that's open on the strip. You know what I'm saying? I kind of went there because there was someone that, like a friend of mine that I had over there, that she worked over there, and she's chilling with me the day before. So I was kind of like waiting for her to finish work, sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of stayed. Because I remember I was out the night before, so I'm not really trying to be out there. Like, during that time, Lucy and my pal walked off to go. Like, I don't know if they went home or whatever. And they were looking like forgot something on the strip. I don't know. Then the little lad, Jay's pal, he was saying, "I'm going home now." You know what I'm saying? Like, he's
So it seems like Brandon was with Lucy, and that the little lad Brad, he must be on about there. But again, it's suspicious that he doesn't mention names. It's like he doesn't really know them, and he seems to be putting himself so far away from them. Like it was really none of my business. I was just doing someone a favour. He wants to be known as the good guy.
He's kind of left now. Obviously, Jay was there because he refused to go home. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he thought that we was going to be out till the morning or whatever, but I did kind of make it clear. Look, broski, like, he was like, bro, like, mate, he's left. He's gone back to the apartment. I ain't got the key or anything. He's a cool, I'll chill with you lot. And I went, look, bro, I'm just waiting for someone here, like, that's working here. Like, once she's rolling, like, I'm chilling, bro. Like, I'll give you the sofa and that downstairs. Mind you, I am a bit of a drive away. And he's like, no, it's cool, sound, bro. No problem.
Just makes you think that he just wants to tell an easy story and people will go with it. Kelly in the message just goes, he's definitely lying. Seems he's making it up as he's talking. Well, waffling, but not saying OWT. Yeah. What's with the cowboy line? That's funny. The creator, true finder, thank you. I don't believe he's done anything to Jay personally, but I do believe he knows what went on. Yeah, I totally agree. This is why I've said he's acting like the middleman and doesn't want to elaborate on it. He's protecting people. We now move on to Aldon's review and true crime, so do go across and subscribe to him as well. Another brilliant YouTuber who's following the case as well, and his breakdown on basically the video that Ayub had. Let's get straight into it.
Anyway, I want to get back into the video. Right, the video outside the car. Listen to it carefully.
Two bottles there. That one. Headshot. It looks like someone done a hit.
Someone said it looked like a blanket or a sheet in the back of the car, which was kind of strange. I just don't think personally this is Rocky. I mean, like I said in my video, I think this may be manipulated to make it look like Rocky, but I don't think it was. And
through the window. Two bottles there. That one. Headshot. It looks like someone done a hit. Through the window.
That's not two voices. That's not two voices. That's three voices. You see, the first voice, which is the swearing bit, That's said to be Jay, that accent. Second voice is yourself saying he's been shot through the window, hitman being shot through the window. Looks like he's been shot through the window. And there's a third voice. Can anybody make out if there's an accent to the voice? It's definitely a different voice. And then there's a little chipping. And it's not either of those first voices. It's a third voice. There are definitely three people. What is wrong with saying Brandon was there or Brad was there? I don't understand. What has Brandon got to hide? So, they've all got criminal records, I take it. So, I'm not saying that they're involved now, but there is a higher possibility of that mentality. Let me tell you, prison is like, some prisons, a lot of prisons like a community. And when you grow up, as you leave that community, if you've been there for a long time, look at Darren, young Darren, he's younger than me, Darren G. Look at him. You kind of get institutionalized for a long period of time.
I agree in what he's saying there, that it's a club and you don't rat each other out. I do agree with that.
And you come out as a youngster, you went in as a youngster, you come out as a youngster, because you've got to have that sort of schoolboy, schoolyard mentality as yourself. I'm sorry to say, you're 30-something, you're hanging around with 19-year-olds. You said you wanted to go quad biking with two gals, was it from Manchester or up north somewhere, and you wanted to introduce them to the trails or something. This is your cover story. Nobody believes it because it's just bizarre. It's like saying, oh, I went to Tenerife for the drugs. I'm not taking drugs. Far from the truth. Far from the, I go out for the outdoors. If you look at any of my history, I go out for the outdoors. I'm running, triathlon, all that sort of thing, outdoors, hiking. But Mount Etna, you're going to take the girls up Mount Etna like a mountain? What?
Game over.
So, first we've heard of the girls. Do you have the girls' names? If they've got nothing to hide, just come out. So the girls need interviewing, yeah? So whether it's by the police or whether it's by us, it's better, isn't it? So we do a thorough job anyway. So let's get those girls interviewed. Let's see all the videos of your past outdoor life and this quad biking life that you had. That's why you stayed at the Airbnb. Not really, come on, it was a stash house. That's where you stash things in order to give them out. Jay went back with Brandon to get something probably for themselves. I don't think they were muling or doing anything else. It was probably for themselves. That's where your stash was. That's where you had to clean the Airbnb to get rid of that stash. You had to do a cleaning job. I don't want to go into the body cleaner or anything else. I'm just going into that was your stash house. That was it. It was
that was Aldon's review. You can go across, really deep stuff there. He's talking. I do believe he analysed that quite well, to be honest with you. And like I said, there seem to be maybe 3 or 4 people, and maybe even people inside, or Lucy may have, someone else may have been inside. I think there's a lot of cover-ups going, and the more you look into this case, it gets stranger and stranger and stranger. Why so many cover-ups? And I think the main reason is because so many big-time people are involved in Tenerife and also from the UK as well. Moroccan mafia and different mafias all over. And I think this is having a domino effect why so many people are being arrested in the UK. Birmingham, we've heard, Lancashire, many different places as well. Manchester, it's all over the news at the moment. And I think the police are cracking down, thank God. Let me know what you think, people. Thank you for Aldon's. Do go and subscribe to him. And thank you very much. Subscribe to myself if you already haven't. Streamline Entertainment. And thank you. And like I said, justice for Jay Slater. We march on. Thank you.